that's a high bar for me because I don't have a lot of respect for that organization.
I know you don't. John, do I commit to the Sixers this year? Last
I
night
would, I would, I would. Yeah,
so
I
I
mean, if you like
committed to the
basketball.
Phillies, and once I started watching them in the beginning of the season, I committed. Welcome in, everybody, to a Thursday edition of Birds 365 here on JAKIB Sports. I'm your host, Zander Krause. That's my co-host, John McMullen, inching closer to that Week 8 matchup, and then following that will be the Eagles' bye week. But a big one coming up here versus the New York Football Giants, another divisional game. Johnny Mac, how you doing on this Thursday morning, brother?
Doing well, doing well. Happy VJ Edgecombe Day for those who celebrate.
Oh yeah, I didn't catch the
Finally,
Sixers game last night. I got
some positivity with that organization.
Yeah, we'll see how.
Didn't we have? By the way, didn't we have a bunch of Ace Bailey people? Didn't we have you can't take VJ Edgecombe.
Brian Pumper was an Ace Bailey guy.
Was he? Yeah, that figures.
A minute into the show today, we're talking about Brian Pumper. I can't believe
it. That's not good. Yeah, that was an impressive.
Yeah, I missed the game last night. I'm gonna rewatch. I'm gonna watch you. I'll watch a little bit of the highlights.
Well, there's good and there's bad. He looked phenomenal. Joel looked absolutely cooked from a physical perspective, which is not good long term because obviously they're able to get a win and they beat Boston on the road, but Boston's not Boston because Tatum's hurt. So they're not the typical Boston Celtics, but it was, just from that organization's taken some hits, obviously, and to get somebody with that kind of upside, they usually don't make the right decision. It looks like they finally made it. I don't know if they can screw that kid up. That's how good he is. And that's a high bar for me because I don't have a lot of respect for that organization.
I know you don't. John, do I commit to the Sixers this year?
Last night I would. Yeah, I mean, if you like basketball.
Phillies, and once I started watching them in the beginning of the season, I committed. I watched almost as many of the games as I could. I didn't know if I was going to commit to the Sixers. I'm like, it's Eagles season. I'm busy. I got a lot of work going on. Last night I was out, so I didn't have a chance to see the game. All right, if John's telling me to commit to the Sixers, then
well, I think it's going to be a lot of fun watching that kid develop. And like I said, I don't think they could screw it up. Now injuries, with their luck, maybe that comes into it. But yeah, he looks like he's the real deal. Third all time debut in scoring, and that's not everything, obviously. Boston has a shaky backcourt when it comes to defense, so I wouldn't expect that every night, but it was really, really impressive.
Wow, 44 or 34 points last night for VJ Edgecombe. They win the game by 1 point. Wow, good stuff for the Philadelphia 76ers. John, when I was growing up, that was my favorite team, man. The Sixers were my team.
Same here. That's why I if people ask, well, who do you like? Who do you like? And I covered basketball and I got to cover the Sixers. And that's why I always say, don't cover the team you like, because now I can't stand them. But, the Julius Erving Sixers is what that's my favorite team ever, basically.
Yeah, you and my pop both. My pop loved all those old Sixer teams. And then my pop told me, I've told this story in the air before. I was in high school or the end of high school or college or at some point, and Dad, we got Embiid, we got Ben Simmons. He's like, that was the stupidest thing in the world, tanking and going through the process. And he's like, watch the Celtics. They never tanked and they're in the playoffs again. And I'm like, nah, you're wrong. We're gonna win a title with Embiid and Simmons and Markelle Fultz. And he turned out to be right, John, and that I wasn't happy about that.
Yeah, well, I think there's a lot of angst from that era, and I think a lot of people who bought into it have a difficult time admitting that the damage it did. Again, we were talking off air about the Eagles, and about off the field stuff. Like, that stuff matters off the court in basketball.
Oh yeah.
If you build a culture around losing and just, treat players as commodities and what they did for all those years, it manifests itself and you become what you, it's almost like, I think Sam's biggest problem was he didn't see the human side of it. Like everything was, well, if I draft at the top of the draft high enough, I'm just going to collect a bunch of good players, and they're going to have the right mindset. It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good stuff. A little Sixers talk to start the day last night. A good backcourt. John Maxey dropped 40 last night, so they got a good backcourt working. We'll see how Embiid fares throughout the year. And he only had 20 minutes and 4 points last night.
Wow. You didn't watch the game. I mean, forget about the numbers. The numbers were terrible. He couldn't even jump.
I thought I saw social media clips a couple weeks ago of him looking okay in an exhibition.
Well, it's one, with his history, some days he feels good. Some days he doesn't feel good. He was not feeling good. They didn't leave. I believe, and I came in late, and people in the chat can correct me. I believe I heard he didn't even take the opening jump, the tip, because he wasn't jumping.
Oof, man, that is.
And if you can't move, I mean, why is he out there? Number one. Right. But it was pretty ugly from that standpoint. So it's not all positive, but
a good backcourt is something exciting. We haven't had a great 1-2 backcourt in a while there. So let's see what those guys can do. John, you've officially got me on board in a 6-minute conversation. We'll see what the Sixers do. I don't know when their next game is, but I'm definitely going to watch it.